internalize this character, I had to take out Sapthami completely out of me.
Yeah.
So for the shooting time, I had to be Leela, because there are a lot of differences when it comes to my character and her character. I'm very vocal about my emotions. I emote. I say if I'm feeling sad, I put it out.
Right.
But Leela isn't a character like that. Deepika ma'am and Alia Bhatt ma'am, I think they're killing it
Right.
with their the performances and the stories they're choosing. And I like how they're breaking their barriers. Like I said,
Yeah.
they're super glamorous in one movie, and then they do something like this, and it's amazing.
Hello and welcome to News 18 Showsha. My name is Sonil, Dedhia, and today we have with us Sapthami Gowda, who is enjoying the success of her recent release, Kantara. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Kantara has just gone berserk globally.
Yes.
What's the feedback like for you?
It's great. People are talking about my performance, and they're talking about the movie as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a saying, right? When the movie wins, the artists win. So
Yeah.
I think the movie's won, and we won along with it today. So we're very happy, but it's still, it's still sinking in. It's very difficult to digest for us right now, because we never expected that it would, like you said, it would go berserk and it would spread like wildfire. We never thought about it at all. So when we set out to make the movie, we set out to do a good movie with everybody being, dedicated to it and working towards it. And in the end, when we got the output, everybody had an idea that, okay, the movie is going to get the kind of response
Sure.
because of it was trying to show something new. And other than that, there's a lot of effort that went behind. But the response that we received today, we're overwhelmed with it. It's still, we wake up in the morning and think, oh, we made this, did we make this? It's still sinking into us, to everybody, I think.
Right. But is there one compliment or one feedback that has come to you which has stayed? Probably friends, family, someone?
Yeah, I mean, friends and family, they're a little, they try to make you feel good.
Good.
Right, but recently Rajan DK's Family Man series, great directors, so they had tweeted about the movie, and I just quoted the tweet and said thank you, sir, and then they commented saying excellent job, Sapthami, nailed it. Coming from them, it was big for me. I think I took out that post, I took a screenshot of it, and it's on my favorites list now, still in my phone, because when you do something, you never expect somebody like them to recognize your work and talk about it. So I'm very happy that people are talking about my performance, and now that we've released it in Kannada and it's throughout Karnataka, people are loving it, and I see the tweets and the Instagram messages, and people are loving my character. They say, we wish even we had a girl like Leela in our lives.
Yeah.
So all that is very nice when you hear. When you receive compliments, who doesn't like it? So and not only that, it's a learning curve for me.
Right.
This is just my second movie, and I'm grateful for all of that.
Like you mentioned, it's your second movie.
Yes.
Your first movie was Popcorn Monkey Tiger.
Yes,
It was a gangster drama.
Yes, 100%.
This one is completely rooted in the culture of Kannadigas.
Yes.
It's a very unusual choice to start your career, right?
Yes.
Any female actor would want to have this glamorous role or probably start out.
Yes.
Did you have second thoughts of choosing either of the films?
No, not at all. So the only thing that plays in my head is what the character is doing. So in the first movie that you said, Popcorn Monkey Tiger, I play the wife of the protagonist, who's a gangster.
Yeah.
But he's a very loud gangster. But me being the wife is louder than him. I overpower him.
Yeah.
So that's the character that I had. So in a way, it was my character was doing something there.
Sure.
So that something that excites me, or it should have the character should have a justification at the end of the day as to why she behaves that way. And the same goes with Kantara too. The characterizations are completely different. This was a very conscious choice that I made after my first one to the second one. I said I wanted to break the character. So that was a very outspoken, loud, bold character. So I wanted to do something, against it, so that it's a learning curve for me, and as professionally it's going to help me. Not only that, as an artist, I have a question whether is it possible? Can I do this?
Yeah.
And I need to find those answers, and I can get those answers only by getting these characters and performing in them. So I'm just in the lookout of those characters and trying to build, I'm trying to understand what is my strength and what my weaknesses are and what I should be working on as a performer.
What was the biggest takeaway from Leela, the character that you played, Kantara? Because, like you mentioned, a lot of people have commented that they would want someone like Leela to be part of it. Rishab sir has mentioned that it is a part of his culture.
Yes.
He's shot in his own village.
Yes.
How did you internalize this character, and what was the biggest takeaway?
So to internalize this character, I had to take out Sapthami completely out of me.
Yeah.
So for the shooting time, I had to be Leela, because there are a lot of differences when it comes to my character and her character. I'm very vocal about my emotions. I emote. I say if I'm feeling sad, I put it out. Right. But Leela isn't a character like that. She's a very introvert kind of a character. Yeah. She talks to people that she feels safe with only. Otherwise, it's just her eyes expressing what she feels, nothing else. There are not a lot of dialogues, but you know what she's feeling.
Sure.
So I had to bring that out, and this being just my second one, I went through a workshop for about 2 months, and two things that we did in the workshop was work on the language and work on my characterization. Language being in Kannada, we've used Mangalore Kannada.
Right.
So I've been born and brought up in Bangalore, so my Kannada is different to Mangalore Kannada. So we started the workshop with the language. So once I lost the consciousness on the language and started getting a hold on the language, my characterization started becoming much easier. I started understanding the nuances of Leela as to why she behaves the way she does in certain situations, why she reacts the way she does. So once I started understanding that, I started cracking the scenes eventually. So during the shooting process, probably the feel of the scene was different, the look and feel of the scene was different. Other than that, I knew the situation she was in. I knew the way she was reacting to certain situations.
Sure.
So that got easier for me, much, much easier. But playing Leela, I think, is one of the biggest takeaway was her being a very progressive woman. In the 90s, she's the first woman, she's the only person who studied in that entire village, and she's finished her forest guard training, and she's gotten into the forest department.
Yeah.
And in the 90s, being part of a certain community and being part of a village, I think that's a very progressive thought for her. And she has that, sophistication in her that nobody else in the village has.
Sure.
For example, if you see Rishab sir's character in the trailer, it's very raw, it's filled with rage. Shiva's character is like Shiva probably.
Yeah.
And Leela's character is probably like Parvati.
Yeah.
So that's the, probably the being progressive, and she's very independent.
Yeah.
She has her own source of income. In the 90s, having the source of income is huge.
Yeah.
So being independent, I think everybody should be independent in a certain way. Financially, being independent is very important to us girls, especially in this time of day.
But it's an interesting time and day, right?
Yes.
I mean, the kind of roles that are being written.
Yes.
If you see, not only if I'm specifically not talking about Kannada industry, but overall in Indian cinema, the roles that were written in the past were not as strong as the kind of roles.
Yeah.
That
are being written.
Yeah. Do you feel kind of blessed the kind of roles that are coming your way, the kind of roles that are offered?
Yes. In the sense, I feel that every character should have a justification in the story.
Sure.
It shouldn't be that like a female protagonist is brought into the movie just for the beautification purpose of the movie, right? When you do that, the story loses its originality. I mean, if it's not required, don't even put it.
Correct.
If you're showing a female protagonist in the movie and the screen space is about 6 minutes, but the character has a justification, has an impact, adds some value to the movie, I think those 6 minutes is enough for any actor to give a blockbuster of a performance and still be noticed.
Sure.
So I'm very grateful that I got this opportunity. I got a very performance oriented character, and not only that, like you said, this era that strong women roles are being written in the movies. They're making a difference, and we should be thankful that way to OTT platforms too, because they're letting story writers and directors experiment that way by bringing out stories. For example, Navarasam was done in Netflix, and beautiful stories were said. They had such strong female characters. I love Sai Pallavi ma'am, and her her character in Navarasam was beautiful, and in Gargi that recently released. Beautiful characters. So I'm very blessed that in this time period I'm part of the industry.
Right. Tell us this then. Is there at any point of time do you feel you would also want to do these commercial roles? Would there be a point of time where you would want to do those?
Again, as I said, it depends on what the character is. See, if for example, a lot of people ask me when Kantara came out or we were doing promotions, did you feel sad that you had to go de-glam?
Yeah.
So actually, until then, that thought had never come into my head that I was doing something that was de-glamorous. For me, the character needed to look like that. For me, the character takes the priority over anything else any day in the movie. So like you said, if the glamorous role is there, of course I want to do it. I want to show that side of of my performance or my acting and how that looks too. But again, the character holds the priority, and justification of that matters to me more than how everything else is.
Language is no longer a barrier, and we've seen that in the last 2 years, and that's probably the positive side of the pandemic that has happened. Have you been inspired, or have you watched Hindi films? Is there someone you kind of...
Oh, of course, I've been brought up, I mean, even though we were down south, Hindi films did play a huge role in our lives too. So like Kannada films, we used to have a lot of Hindi films too, like Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham. I think it's a household movie. We've watched it n number of times. And Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. Even today, you're feeling nostalgic, or you're feeling bored, you play the movie. And Ye Jawani Ye Diwani is one of my favorite movies. It's such a fun movie. It's see, anything said and done, but at the end of the day, you go to the movies for entertainment. You don't go to the movies and to get yourself into some other trance and say, oh my god, what is happening, why did I come? You go and you come out of the movies with a happy feeling. The movie is going to win. So Ye Jawani Ye Diwani did that for me. So as I grew up, I started looking at performances too. Like Piku was, I think, one of the greatest performances. Highway, Piku, and these performances stay with you. And not only that, when you look at big scales, right? When Sanjay Leela Bansali sir did, when that was the first I saw, when he did Padmavat or Bajirao Mastani, there were such great performances and there were such great stories being told. What was the visuals? You can't say that wasn't a de-glam. That was a beautiful, glamorous looks. His actresses, his female protagonists are beautiful. How they portrayed, how they are shown. So these are all that movies that I've grown up on. And recently Gangubai has stayed with me for, I don't know, it still haunts me, that phone call scene that Alia Bhatt ma'am has with her mum. I think that's one of the greatest scenes. I mean, to have a hold on a scene like that, to have a hold on the entire theatre like that, it still haunts me. So sometimes, you want to look at performances, you go and look at these performances and say, this is where I have to learn, this is what I need to be doing. And so like you said, the language isn't a barrier.
Have you been a fangirl of anyone?
Yeah, like recently, like Deepika ma'am and Alia Bhatt ma'am, I think they're killing it with their the performances and the stories they're choosing. And I like how they're breaking their barriers. Like I said, they're super glamorous in one movie and then they do something like this, and it's amazing.
You were in Mumbai. Have you thought of kind of just meeting them, or probably just having that kind of
I don't know how to get to them. I don't know how to meet them. I have no idea. I have to probably ask my production house. I have to ask Vijay sir, if you can please. I would be very grateful. Of course, I'm not going to ask them what is their process of filming. Every actor, I think, process of acting or performance is very close to them, and I don't think nobody is going to tell the truth. So I just want to know, how is it that they choose these kind of content, or what is the like behind, like the work that happens before every movie. Do they go, how do the character, how they pick up? So probably little bit if I get, will be great advice.
Lastly, what's happening after Kantara? I mean, is there something that you can give us an update on?
I'm listening to a lot of scripts that are coming my way. There are certain characters that have created that kind of excitement in me that Kantara did. The first day when I went into Rishab sir's office for Kantara, there was an excitement that sparked in me. There are certain scripts that are doing that for me right now. So let's see in the future. I'm very happy. So we're on talking terms after this. All the releases happen because every storyteller, every director, he makes a story with his complete heart and soul he gives into it. So it's my responsibility to give the time to listen to them.
Sure.
So once I have that time to give, it takes about 3-4 hours. So once I have the time to listen to all of them, I will, and probably get great characters, and I have that learning experience again.
Thank you so much for taking your time, and congratulations once again.
Thank you so much. Hi, this is Sapthami Gowda. You're watching News 18 Showsha.